Are you ready for Pistons, the podcast?
It's the Muppet Show.
No, we'll get cancelled for that. Right. Hello, you absolute legends. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another exciting, not guaranteed, episode of Pistons, the podcast, the only podcast filmed in Dad's garage here in Lincolnshire. I need to apologise to a few people because we've been quite busy. We've missed a couple of weeks actually of Pistons the podcast. More on why we've been busy probably in this podcast. And also, some of you are aware, some of you might not be, that Mrs. John Coupland had an operation a couple of weeks ago. She's fine, before you ask, she's recovering. It was a routine operation. Lots of people have sent their regards and love on the internet, so thank you very much. She's doing well. Big shout out to her. She can watch this as part of her recovery.
That's a setback, isn't it?
How you doing?
I'm all right, thank you, son.
Have you missed Pistons the podcast?
I have, yeah, I like doing it.
Pistons the podcast.
Well, it's a full-time job being retired.
Yeah, but it does mean that we've got lots to talk about in this podcast, so stay with
I
it.
can talk.
Let's start, as we mean to go on, with the award BAFTA-winning feature, Tool of the Week. There you are, that's Tool of the Week. Tell us about it.
Have you given people a picture, though, so they can see it?
Here is Tool of the Week.
But can they see it?
Here is Tool of the Week. Up close, have a look. Right, describe to us Tool of the Week, please.
Tool of the Week. It's a strong cast iron thing, a bit like a G-cramp. It's got an adjustable anvil just there. Got a piece there with a chisel-shaped end on it.
Like a beak.
Yeah, a beak. It is, isn't it? It's like a octopus's beak. And you screw this end in here, and it works on hydraulic. And as you screw that, this piece slowly comes out. Okay,
if you think you know what Tool of the Week is, let us know in the comments below. Now, all will become clear. Watch till the end to find out what Tool of the Week is. That moves us on then to part one of the podcast, which is the Pride of Longbridge, which was cancelled. We were meant to be taking the Rover 75 to the Pride of Longbridge, which was meant to happen on the 13th of April. It was cancelled due to rain, as is true Pistons, the podcast.
It always rains.
It always rains when we do it. Disappointed about not going?
I'd got myself all geared up for it, ready to see loads of stuff.
So hopefully next year we'll be going to Pride of Longbridge. There were lots of alternative events on, including longships and octagons and all this sort of stuff held at Gaydon. If you went to any of those, let us know in the comments below. I didn't know about it, and I'll tell you what I didn't know about. The 25th anniversary of the Rover 75 celebrations at Gaydon, held at the British Motor Museum, which we missed out on the Sunday. So maybe you went to that, let us know, what did you think to it? Gutted I missed that, to be honest with you. The Rover 75 designer was there at Gaydon, walking around talking to people. Anyway, that's one thing we needed to cover. Check on a Trek, by the way. The boys there, nearly at £7,500. So if you've donated, thanks for that. Right, what have you been up to this week? What have you been up to for the past 2 weeks? We will have more of a chat about the what's in the workshop
thing
in just a minute. But I think you've had Peugeot 406 drama this week.
I wouldn't call it a drama, it's an inconvenience.
Was it more of a concern than an inconvenience? Or is it a bit of a problem?
No, it's not a concern, mate. It's a French car.
Le concern.
No.
Le problème.
No problem. Nil problem. There is no problem.
Pas de problème.
Pas de problem.
Pas de problème.
There is no problem.
There is no problem.
That's what they said, you know, when I was at training school to, where would it be? Where's Peugeot? Coventry, isn't it?
There you go.
It used to be. And they say, well, if you say to the French people there's a problem, they go,
Pas de problème.
Yeah.
Pas de problème.
There is no problem.
What's been going on with the 406?
406, I pulled out of the drive at 6:20 yesterday morning to go to the gymnasium, and the front spring broke.
Uh-oh.
And being a 406, you're buggered. Because any normal car, you go, I've got a twang. With a 406, it collapses.
It did look like you'd run over Zebedee, for those of you old enough to remember the Magic Roundabout.
It's not good when a spring goes on the front of a 406.
Automatic lowering, let's put it that way.
No,
You'll be putting
it's more than
coilovers
lowered.
and
It's on its haunches. You can't get a blinking jack under it. I had to put a scissor jack under the front just to get underneath it.
If you want to check out the issues with the Peugeot 406, there is a video on the channel now. 70 quid worth of parts?
Yeah, it's not a problem. It's just getting the blooming bits, because the factories ain't even got them now, with it being a bit elderly. But anyway, the good people at Leicester sending me some.
That's Peugeot 406 update then. That's what you've been up to this. What else have you been up to this week?
Been fiddling about with this thing. I'm busy decorating. Your mum's got me booked my next job. That's why I've got gloves on, so I don't get my hands dirty. Wallpapering.
In true Pistons, the podcast format, it is now
It's raining, yes.
It never ends.
It always rains. It's the monsoon season.
Right, okay. I've got a present for you. Let's start off with that. Let's start off with that.
Is this a clean hands job?
Yeah, it is. I've been on the internet and I've bought you a present. Something for the garage. Ready?
Go on then.
Da, 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 da.
Oh, Mike Terry, bless him.
It's a signed photograph of hit Wakefield piano artiste Mike Terry for you to hang in the garage.
Well, I'm truly humbled.
Long story short, at my previous place of employment, we had a challenge to find the worst CD in our establishment, and one of the lads I work with geniusly found this chap, Mike Terry, who was a cabaret piano artiste based in Wakefield. His piano playing, brilliant. His singing, not so good. However, he's become a bit of a cult icon. So for the rest of the podcast, I'm going to have Mike Terry down here.
I have got some Mike Terry on my iPod in the Nissan Note, you know.
There you go.
I have a little bit of Torre Molinos.
It's one of them things, it's so bad, it's good.
It's not, it's what you'd call holiday camp entertainment. After you've had a skinful of sangria, you're happy, you're enjoying it.
You want to have a sing-song with Mike.
Yeah, of course you do.
He does covers of Dorothy Squires and Winifred Atwell, you remember that Pot Black theme. So, as homage to Mike, we're going to have him hung up in the garage.
Well, he would be on Benidorm, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
And it's all right. I ain't got a fault with it.
I like Mike. And you've bought a Proton this week.
I want my own Proton, but I'm going to donate it to the Proton aficionado. So you haven't got a long card Proton.
I haven't got a long card Proton. So you've given me a gift, and I've given you a gift. What I want to know is, you might careful, don't let Mike fall over.
This is 3 of 5 of the
Compact Kings.
Yeah. So what's the other ones?
Well, that's a good question. I don't know. We're going to have to find out.
Will there be? No, there won't be a 75, will there?
Probably not, no.
No.
However, Corgi have just released a Rover 75.
Have they?
Yeah. It is raining quite a bit. I've got my script all wet now. Right, so we've done gifts.
Yeah, gifts.
We've done Tool of the Week.
Sorry to butt in. What are you going to do with that, though? Will you have it in your front room, or will Mrs. John Cooper not like that in the front room? Will it be in your office?
Probably imagine quite a few people have bought me those.
Yeah.
I do have quite a few. I've also got quite a few Protons in my Proton
You've
collection.
got a red Proton?
They're all red.
Oh, are they? Can't you get different colours?
No. So the plan, I think, is to take a couple of them out as carefully as possible and then paint them like the Protons in my collection.
Your mum was going to take it out of that packet and put it on a birthday cake if your I says, you can't take it out of the packet.
Can't do that. I would like to commission somebody to do that for me, because I'm not a model expert. Maybe one of our projects could be painting a Proton.
No, yeah. No.
Right, let's move on to what's in the workshop.
Orange Smart.
If you've been living under a rock for the past couple of weeks, you will fail to, or you'll not know actually if you've been living under a rock, but if you haven't been living under a rock, you will have failed to have noticed that I bought another smart car. For my birthday, I went out and treated myself. It's this, and it's orange, and that's why I bought it. It's the Night Orange Edition, one of 235 ever made. It is a later one than the 450.
Couldn't you just gone and bought yourself some new pyjamas or slippers or something?
Yeah, but they don't do them in orange. Or maybe they do.
I bet they do. I'm sure I've seen orange pyjamas going to Asda in the morning.
You know when you've been tangoed. Anyway, it's been in the workshop for 19 days now. Just tell us what we've done on the Smart 451.
New brake pipes, new brake discs, no, new brake pads, new exhaust, general tinkering. Not a lot of really.
I didn't buy a lemon because it's orange.
Yeah.
I bought an orange. Did I make a good buy or a bad buy with this?
Yeah, it's a good buy, wasn't it?
For the price.
Yeah, but it wouldn't have been a good buy if he was paying somebody to mend it.
That's the issue, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I paid just over £1,000 for the car. It's cost us 500, 600 quid to get it to this sort of standard. New exhaust, 300 quid. Probably not even that. What's it worth? 1,800 quid, 2 grand?
Oh, you'd be out of pocket by the time you paid me then.
But that's what's in the workshop this week because you've been working on the Smart. It's now done actually. We have just filmed a test drive.
How much were the floor mats?
30 something pounds plus VAT.
Cheaper than Rover 800 ones then?
Rover 75.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
You keep banging on about how much the Rover 75 floor mats
I know.
were. Tell the people. Tell them how much.
80 quid. He grumbled about spending something, but the most expensive thing he bought for that Rover 75 of one item was floor mats.
Yeah, it was. But, and I had a Twitter poll out this week, what is the first after... Sorry, no, let's start again. I had a Twitter question out this week, which is you've just bought a car, either from the dealership brand new or from somebody. What is the first genuine accessory you buy for the car? And 80% of people said floor mats.
Do you know what I used to do? I used to go around the valet bay and found some they've took out of a used car and stick them in my car.
Yeah, but you can't go... These people out there can't go nicking them from garage valet bays.
Your mum's Vauxhall had Renault Scenic ones in for entire lifetime. I don't buy floor mats now. I do. I might have to do now. I used to go to the valet bay, always take old monkey flower mats out and chuck them. So I used to just go find some.
Here's a question from being in the garage trade. I have a question.
Go on then.
I have traded in my Nissan Micra. It's 3 years old. It has aftermarket accessories in, or dealer accessories in, like, I don't know, floor mats, for example. They're really good condition.
Yep.
And I'm going to resell that car. Do you, as a dealer, take the floor mats out to make the new people buy new floor mats?
Yes.
Really?
Of course you would.
Scandalous.
Now that's where you think I'll get my floor mats from.
Fine. But, so trade-in cars, people are taking bits off.
Well, you want new floor mats in your fresh car, don't you?
Yeah, but not if they cost me 80 quid.
You don't want worn-out old floor mats that somebody else has
I'm not saying they're worn out. I'm saying they're really good condition. They've been put back in the car by the original owner. They've never used them. Is the dealership still taking them out?
Yeah, of course they are.
Are the dealership going to then sell them those floor mats?
No, they wouldn't do that. They'd sell some new ones.
Okay.
Well, that's where they get the commission from, isn't it? Selling accessories.
Tricks of the trade there. We've learned a bit. But yeah, Orange Smart is in. We've taken it for a test drive. Confident?
Yeah.
It's lost a bit of charm. There is going to be a full video on the channel. There's loads of videos
Touch
on the
wood,
channel.
there wasn't any dramas, were there?
I'm going to drive it 700 miles this week, so we'll soon find out, because I'm going to use it as my commuter vehicle. I've got it insured. I've got it taxed. Tax is free.
Is it?
Yeah, free tax.
Oh, excellent.
Insurance, 160
Not
quid.
20 quid then?
No, free on this one. MHD, you see.
GHD, yes, traders.
Anything else before we go into Q&A?
Now I like this zero tax business.
Yeah, free tax.
Yeah.
It's cheaper tax than electric vehicles now, because electric vehicles people are getting taxed.
Yeah, we see new cars now. They're changing it, aren't they?
Because Rishi Sunak.
This is the sort of age where you want economical cars. This is Euro 5, isn't it?
Euro 5. Hopefully it's going to do me 70 miles a gallon.
Ooh. Has it got a trip computer?
Yeah.
Have you reset the service interval reminder?
Not yet.
No, because I don't think you can.
Oh no, we might need an MB star. Anyway, that's what's in the workshop this week. Anything else you want to say before Q&A?
Tractor.
Tractor. Welcome to Lincolnshire. Tractor being held up.
Oh yes, there is something I want to say.
What?
There was a tractor run at the weekend past
Oh,
here,
cool.
and I really did feel sorry for the person who can imagine what happened. They go, "Oh, there's a tractor coming! I'm going to nip out quick." But there's dozens of
14 other tractors.
Oh, I haven't gone on a tractor run now. We ought to have a tractor, didn't we?
I beg your
We
pardon?
ought to have a tractor, didn't we?
Well, there is a tractor somewhere in the family that I keep saying, let's go and
where are we going to
grab.
put it?
What's in the workshop?
No,
Tractor?
no. This is a motorbike workshop.
I'll make a deal with you.
Oh,
Oh, steady. I'll make a deal with you. If you... Oh no, Mike's fell off. And the Proton. Last time I did that, I broke one. Oh, it's all right. Right, so I've got a deal with you with the tractor then. You broker the acquisition, as in you speak to family members and get the tractor, and I will pay for it and house it.
no. I can see who's going to be tinkering with the tractor.
Rain has sort of stopped play for a moment. It's actually hailing now. All right there.
Excellent.
I ain't sitting out here in the wind.
There's no wind, is there?
Talk amongst yourselves. Should we carry on?
We ought to carry on. Yep, carry on podcasting.
If you need to water your plants, just start a podcast.
Yeah.
Right, where were we? Oh yeah, here we are. Q&A. Q&A. Mike's up there now.
Yep, Mike's. Yep.
Thanks to everyone that has sent in questions. If we don't answer your question this week, we haven't forgotten you, don't worry. There is so many questions that we've accrued over the past couple of weeks. So it'll be next week or the week after, but please keep submitting your questions either in the comments below or via any posts on Twitter and on YouTube. Please don't put questions on like videos from 3 years ago though, because I probably won't see them and then you'll be grumpy because I don't answer your question. Right, so the first question comes from Austin Simpson, who is the grandson of Boston's very own John Simpson.
Big John.
Big John, in the workshop with Big John. And it's directed to both of us. First of all, he says he's loving the series. Thank you very much. Thank you. He says, what's the biggest restoration job you've taken on? This is for you, really, isn't it?
No, it's for me and you, isn't it? Well, we don't do anything as big as what Grandad does, anyway. Grandad does big stuff.
He does. He's currently restoring a Mini. I think the biggest job we took on was probably the Rover 75. Or the MR2.
Yes. We don't do big jobs.
We don't do painting.
No,
we have to send our...
That's beyond our skill sets. We just do a bit of fettling, really. We don't do restorations, we do fettling. That's what I'd call it.
Yeah, so but the biggest job we've done, probably the Rover 75?
Yeah, but some of the ongoing stuff, like the Smart 450 is an ongoing project.
That's true, that was a big project.
We've slowly got to replace every component on it in
Well, you rebuilt the whole engine in that?
Yeah.
Maybe the Smart 450?
Yeah, but it's an ongoing project, isn't it? Rolling restoration.
I think the answer to your question, Austin, is everything. Yeah. There's quite a few cars that are slowly just ticking over. It's certainly a full-time job for Dad.
But we don't start with total basket cases and repair them, do we?
No.
That's beyond our... Well, I ain't got the attention span for it.
We're not clever enough to drag a barn find out, are we?
No, I just
do a full...
I haven't got the attention span for doing it.
Anyway, Austin, thanks for watching. Thanks for your kind comments about the podcast. SS Goodship says, how long did your dad work for Rover and was he there until the end?
I first started working on British Leyland in 1974 when I was 16.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you were there till the end, weren't you?
No, because I cleared off and went and worked on Peugeot Talbot for a while.
Oh, yeah.
Then I found your mum.
Terrible.
Yeah, then they closed the place down. So I went back to work on Rovers then. But no, I wasn't there till the end because I got sold again and I went to work on Renaults.
So just to clarify for people that are watching, you never worked physically at Rover, so you was never at Longbridge or Gaydon or Cowley.
No, I was in the dealership.
You were in the main dealer as a mechanic.
That's all, mate, yeah.
What is your day job, John? I work for the emergency services. That's my day job. That's what I do.
So do I. Emergency car.
Emergency car repairs. What made you get into doing YouTube videos? Well, me, I won the Festival of the Unexceptional and found that people wanted to know about my cars some more, so I started putting videos on, and it's sort of grown from there. And you've been forced into doing it.
Well, it's just a bit of a laugh, actually, isn't it?
I think the thing is about the channel, it's not my day job. So this isn't my day job. I don't rely on this. If I did rely on this, I'd be in a bit of a heap of trouble.
You'd be moving back in with mum and dad.
Yeah, absolutely, and certainly Mrs. John Coop won't be happy about that. This is a hobby, really, isn't it? And I enjoy it, and we're humbled that people want to watch it, so thank you very much. Art Car Funky, what a great name for a username, by the way. Question to both of you. People often ask, what is your dream car? So I'm going to flip that question on its head. What is your least favourite car that you have owned, and also a car that you would never consider owning? Right, I'll go first. Least favourite car that I have owned. Oh, that's a good one. Kia Pride. I rescued a Kia Pride. I paid a couple of £100 for it. It broke down on the way home. I limped it home. I just didn't click with it, and I put it behind my garage and just left it for 6 months and then sold it. It is, however, now in pride of ownership of a chap called Jack, who runs the Young Retro Motor Club. So the Kia Pride lives on.
Good.
But yeah, Kia Pride.
Do you know what I see? A little Daewoo in the mornings.
What, Matiz or?
Little tiny Daewoo. Fairly old one. And it goes early morning with the yellow coat men into there.
Oh, right. Probably is a Matiz, isn't it?
Yeah, probably. You don't see many of them.
That's a Miss Hubnut special.
Right.
A car that I would never consider owning. I'm going to get hate for it. Corsa C. Ugh. Hate it. I know you had one for so long. My ex-girlfriend had one. Mum had one. They're just horrible, scratchy,
I crashed my car into the bridge. I don't care. I don't care. I always think of her when I think of that song.
Yeah, she crashed it into a bridge and wrote it off because
There's that song, isn't
no
there?
talent. I think it came out at the same sort of time as well. Yeah, Vauxhall Corsa C. Horrible, scratchy, timing belt, rattly, blur. There you go, that's answered my question. So yours, what's the least favourite car you've ever owned and a car you would never consider owning?
The least favourite car, even though it was still a good car, the least favourite car was a Morris Ital, because every year you had to put new suspension on it for the MOT.
I can hear Sarah Crabtree
I know.
shouting at you now.
I know, but when you've suddenly... How do I put this? When you can get things like Mitsubishi Galants...
I understand.
And Austin Montegos. A Morris Ital is a bit
Yeah.
bit dated.
Bit dated is the right term. Car that you'd never consider owning?
What do I hate that you've got? What do I hate?
Audis. Audi TTs.
Yeah, Audi TTs. I do not like Audi
Why?
TTs. Well, it's a precocious Golf, isn't it? A Volkswagen Golf? All right. Sensible little car, but then you make it harder to get in and out of and call it an Audi TT.
I love the Mach 1 Audi TTs. I actually, controversially, prefer the coupe now to the Roadster. I've got a couple. There's one for sale near me locally if you fancy one. Looks a good car. You'd never have an Audi TT?
I can't see. No, I wouldn't like an Audi TT. I don't think... If somebody see me getting out of an Audi TT, they'd say, what is the matter with him? what is the matter with him?
Probably say that when I'm getting out of my purple one. Anyway, thanks for your question, Art Car Funky. Daniel says, and this is a good question, I like this one, I think we've both got the same answer, actually.
Oh, there we go.
Where is the furthest distance that you and Dad have driven from Lincolnshire? So the furthest distance you've driven from Lincolnshire.
Myself?
Yes.
Somewhere in Brittany.
Oh, really? Oh, we haven't got the same answer then.
Well, that's not with you though.
No, where have you driven that's furthest?
Well, I went across to France in Brittany in my Ilman Avenger.
Did not know that. Mine is sort of Scotland.
It is Scotland.
I've been up to the Isle of Skye.
Oh yeah, of course you've been further north than me. I've been to Thurso.
Where's that?
It's near John O'Groats.
Oh, I've been to John O'Groats as well,
Yeah.
which is further. Oh no, not John O'Groats. Land's End. Hang on a minute, which is further? Here to Land's End or here to Isle of Skye? Isle of Skye, I think.
Yeah, I've not been to the Isle of Skye.
I did here to Newquay in 4.5 hours in a Nissan Micra. Now that's good going.
It is. It is. It took a lot further than a Morris Ital.
It was a bank holiday and the roads were ridiculously quiet of all things, and I had me Nissan Micra. It was, yeah, lovely and sunny. I actually burnt my forehead.
Did you
with the
go
sun
right
reflector.
to the northwest?
Of Scotland?
Yeah.
The highest point, so it was my stag week. My best man came over from Australia. I drove from Lincolnshire up to Glasgow. I drove from Glasgow to Edinburgh. I left my car, no, then I drove Edinburgh back to Glasgow, left my car in Glasgow, this was the Audi A4, and then drove Glasgow back to Edinburgh, Edinburgh over the bridge up to, is it Inverness? Then down to Loch Ness, then across to the Isle of Skye, did all round the Isle of Skye, Fort William, Ben Nevis, back to Glasgow in 5 days. That was
Me
a trek
and my
and a half.
mate went up to Scotland fishing, and we did 1,800 mile in a week.
Yeah, we did that.
Yeah.
Well, in the camper van we did 1,500 miles, and then I drove from Lincolnshire and back. So what's that? 800. So that's 2,500 miles, and then I got married. That was a bonkers week. Together, where's the furthest we've driven together?
It'll be Scotland.
It'll be Scotland as well, won't it? Oban or somewhere like that.
Scotland. I mean,
Good question,
with
Daniel.
a boat on the back.
Yeah, in the 406.
Yeah.
CWI Technical. I should have put people's actual names rather than usernames, I think. CWI Technical says, what model and engine is your dad's 406?
It's a 406 GLX.
2 litre petrol.
It's a 2 litre petrol, the twin cam. Yeah.
How long you had it is the next question.
How long have I had it? I've had it since it was 5 years old, so
20 years. 20 years.
no more than that, isn't it? Is it now 19 or 20 years?
20 years.
Yeah.
Actually, CWI Technical has been quite cheeky here. He's got 3 questions in one. How do you rate it against my Rover? Well, I know the answer to that.
Yeah, it's better.
It's much better than a Rover 75, isn't it? Much better.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm sorry.
No, I understand. And people will be shouting, because lots of people don't rate the 406 estates. Lots of people have had really bad experiences with them, but I can't fault your experience over 20 years.
Yeah, some of the later HDIs I might have had trouble with. Yeah.
But that's a good car. Cool.
It's not been hurt much, so has it? Well, it has been hurt, but it's not done a lot of distance, has it?
100,000 miles?
Yeah, about 103, 104 now.
New clutch coming soon, by the way. Gaza B says, knowing your dad is a Roots fan, are you aware of the Hull Bay engined Hunter?
I jolly well am.
I think it was the later one badged as a GLS, quite quick in its day. What do you think to that? The Hull Bay engined Hunter?
Yeah, I am aware of it. I always wanted one because I just got one with twin Strombergs on.
You didn't have one? Yeah. He's aware, Gaz. He's aware.
I jolly well am.
Uh-oh. This is passive aggression disguised as a question. This is someone having a go at me disguised as a question, I think.
Cool.
Terry says, John, what's the reason for hoarding so many cars? Oh.
It's an illness.
Yeah. I get emotionally attached to them. Don't ask me why. I get emotionally attached to them. I do let some go because other people that I'm emotionally attached to, Dad and Mrs. Junkington, tell me they need to go. But yeah, it makes me happy. It brings me joy. One of my phrases in life is, if it brings you joy, who is anyone else to judge? It makes me happy. It's not bankrupting me. If it was bankrupting me, then obviously that's something that's totally different. I'm in a really lucky position that I can afford to do it, and I've got the space, and I've got this legend who can
couldn't afford
fix
to do
them.
it if you hadn't got some silly old bloke who tinkers around with them, gets them going.
Well, that leads on nicely to the second part of Terry's question. Does Dad ever get fed up of fixing your cars?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
What's the one, if I was to say to you, if I was to ring you this afternoon, this is another question, and say, Dad, a car has broken,
Yeah.
which would be the one that you wouldn't want me to ring up and say you need
Don't
to
want
repair?
you to bring your MR2
Why?
because you're too emotionally attached to it. It's
But-
like if, how do I put this? It's like, it's your baby, and I don't want to be responsible for harming your baby.
But at the moment, it's off the road, and
well, it's best place for it. It's safe where it is.
it's just but isn't it meant to be driven?
You don't drive yours. Where's the last place you took the Black Knight?
Festival of the Exceptional 2023.
Yeah, then took it for an MOT.
I took it before that.
Yeah.
Don't have a go at me about the Black Knight.
But Jeff, another one.
Yeah,
it doesn't go anywhere.
All right, okay, probably.
The
Yeah.
Armstrong Siddeley goes further than that.
QC2731.
Move along.
Q7232. No, in all seriousness, though, we need to get the MR2 on the road this year. It needs to go for an MOT, and I need to use it. So he's coming round.
Well, I don't know who your mechanic is then, 'cause it's not me.
You.
I'll have the rest of the year off.
We'll do it together. It doesn't need anything. It needs the brakes looking at, and let's go.
Yeah, you will when that timing belt goes. Then you'll be cross when your engine's knacked.
Better crack on then. QC2731 says, what is the most difficult car your dad has worked on and why? I'm expecting some sort of Renault to be the answer here.
Yeah, Renaults were a pain in the butt. I was thinking, if you think though, an horrible job I've done once, and that was a clutch on a V12 E-Type. And it wasn't because it was mechanically difficult, but you had to take all the front off, and the front's all shimmed up, and it was difficult to get it all lined up again.
Oh.
But some horrible jobs is engine changes on diesel Renaults, like Velsatises and Espaces and things like that.
All the things I like.
You have to take so much off to do what you need to do.
Renault Aventime?
Don't swear.
Some sort of Renault then, basically.
Yeah, Renaults was a bit quaint to work on.
John Simpson, Austin's grandfather, who we started the Q&A with, also known as Grease Monkey, says, can your dad remember his first day at work? The month, day and date. And can you remember your first job on a car at work?
I can.
Amazing. Tell me.
August 1974.
Yep.
And the first job after emptying the dustbins and sweeping up.
And making tea?
No, I didn't make the tea because everybody took flasks.
Ah.
Yeah. And the posh people used the tea machine. Well, the office people used the tea machine.
That is posh in the 70s.
Yeah, but we had flasks. We didn't make tea.
All right, fair enough.
But first job, I emptied the dustbins, then I swept up, and then I went and helped a fella, and we changed the clutch slave cylinder on a Mini. That was my first morning at work.
What colour was the Mini?
I don't know.
Just testing your memory there. Okay, I'm surprised.
Yeah, I can remember that.
I'm glad.
And I can also, when I actually stopped being an apprentice, the first day I was classed as a mechanic, I can tell you the first job there.
Tell us.
It bypass hose on a Mini.
All right, so lots of Minis.
And I can remember the foreman saying, this isn't a very good job for your first job on your own. Because they're a bit, well, they weren't tricky, but...
Quaint.
But that's when I was officially, I'd done jobs on my own, but that was the day I am not an apprentice anymore.
Good, there you go, John, that's answered the question. Good memory, I can't tell you the first job I did.
And he's a generation in front of me.
Yeah.
He's sort of, you know, he was where, because I remembered where he was when I saw him in VRS. I says, you was at Baitstrands, weren't you? And they were a Citroen dealership.
Good memory. I obviously can't remember my first job in my current role.
Can you?
No, can't remember it at all. No? No? I've done so much.
Strange, isn't it?
Good question, John. Thank you very much. I like this username as well. 4 Wheels Good says, if you could only have a 2-car garage, what would be in it and why? Now, is this a 2-car garage out of what I currently own or what I could have? Let's do both questions, and you can answer this as well. So out of all the cars I own, my 2-car garage, that's really tricky because everything does its own job. I would have to have a van of some description because I've got used to not relying on you with the Peugeot and the trailer now. So probably my van, and then something that I would, this is really hard. Van and my MR2.
Oh, right.
I think. That would be my show. No, yeah, because I could daily my van. It's a lovely car. It's a lovely van to daily.
Drives like a car.
It drives lovely.
Drives
it's useful. It's practical. It's economical. And we haven't had to do too much on it. And then, yeah, I'd have to have a toy, which would be my MR2. Everything else could go. if it was a dream two-car garage, it would be something fun and fast, and then something like a smart car that's economical and good round town. Audi A7, maybe? A8? I also like modern Hyundais. Yeah. I'm quite boring, really. How about you? Two-car garage.
Two-car garage. Me being me, I like something that I can nip uptown in and think, if they run into me, I don't care. That's what I like.
Ford Galaxy.
Yeah, but I need to have 5 other friends and some yellow coats for that.
Nipping to the factory in Spalding.
Yeah.
Peugeot, right? Peugeot 406?
Yeah, Peugeot 406. Yes, Peugeot 406 is a good car. I like Peugeot 406s, and if I'd got plenty of, if money was no object and you could still do it, I'd go out and buy a new one.
What, a brand new Peugeot 406?
Yeah, because they haven't got too much technology on it. I cannot stand technology. It does my head in.
So when you say you'd go and buy a brand new one...
If somebody says, Pete, here's some money, go buy a new car, I say, well, I want a new 406.
And they'd say, pas de problème. Ici le 406.
They'll open the factory up and make me one.
OK, fair enough. Good question, thank you very much. 3 more questions. 3 more. Alan says, what is the scariest driving moment you've ever had in a car? Here's mine. Me and Mrs. John Coupland. Peugeot 207 Sport. She is driving. I'm in the rear passenger. Her mum is in the passenger seat, and we've got 3 Labradors in the boot. All of a sudden, crunch, a van sideswipes us all down the passenger side. Airbags go off, and it's my first proper accident that I'm involved in. We live in Lincolnshire though, because coming the other way, you guessed it, is a tractor with caterpillar tracks on and forks down. That was the scariest moment because I thought I was about to die. In fairness to Mrs. John Coupland, she resisted the car going into the opposite lane and missed it by what seems like a whisker. It was probably about
somebody
3
sideswiped
foot.
you.
Van coming out of a junction, delivery van. He was playing with his little machine, looking where his next delivery was. Didn't realise he was about to go onto a main road and took us out all from down the side. He just T-boned us, but he pushed us into the other lane, and coming the other way was, as I say, caterpillar tractor with the forks down. That would have been good night to everybody. Funny story about that. Sort of the impact didn't knock me out, but dazed and confused me. I was in the back, mother-in-law in the front, who was panicking. By the time I'd looked around and come to, Mrs. John Coupland was out of the car, and she was...
I can imagine.
If she could have got in the van, I think she would have killed the bloke. To the point where he locked himself in his van, and she's running around trying all the doors. Later, she disclosed she wasn't upset about the fact that he'd hit her car. She was more upset by the fact that the dogs were in the boot, and he could have hurt the dogs. So me, not an issue. Mum, not an issue.
Girl.
She was furious that all we had a boot full of Labradors.
Imagine it with her foot against the door, tugging at the handle.
Honestly, he called the police, let's put it that way. She was that furious.
Yeah, fair play to her.
Thankfully, the inspector was not in the boot. She just had some puppies, so she was at home. So if any of the dogs got taken out, it wasn't the dearest inspector. But that was the scariest moment for me, realising that, oh shit, there's a tractor coming and I'm about to be squished. How about you?
You know, I've not had scary moments in cars, really.
Good, that's good.
No.
I'm happy about that.
I can't say I've had scary moments in cars. I've had some scary moments on motorbikes. Well, I was on a motorbike, then I wasn't off on a motorbike. But no, not in a car. Touch wood, just various shit, this sort of thing. But no, nothing really.
Good question, Alan. Thankfully, I'm still here to tell the tale, and hopefully I'm here to tell many more. Alistair Boyd says, from a scale of 1 to 10, this is a good one to nearly end on. From a scale of 1 to 10, how much does your dad want to set the new smart car on fire?
Well, all in all, after the frustration of taking the exhaust off, it's been fairly plain sailing, hasn't it?
I think if we was to do a graph, it would be 0, car, nice car. 1, it needs a new exhaust. 9, oh my God, the exhaust won't come off.
Yeah, it's a pain in the
That
arse.
was a peak
It was
bad moment. And then the next day was back down to 2. Put the new exhaust on.
It's been not as
3, the
as
exhaust.
troublesome as the Rover 75.
There you go. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you want to set it on fire now,
No.
today?
Now, if you was to say, well, if it wasn't such a stupid colour, if you say, Dad, this is your car to run around in, I'd be happy to run around in it.
Don't you like the colour?
No, I don't want people to go, ugh.
I do. Last question, which I think is really fitting. It's from Howard C. Hughes. He says, how do you feel about manufacturers eroding our right to self-repair year by year with proprietary diagnostics and tools? Because cars are getting harder to fix yourself, right? How do you feel about that?
Well, it's wrong because they've now put a law in place that you should be able to buy spare parts for your washing machine for 10 years or not and be able to repair it yourself. Cars now, lots of manufacturers won't sell you the parts, and that's wrong.
I think things like EVs, you've obviously, despite the health and safety risks, you've got to know what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
But I think MG aren't releasing
So I was told, yeah.
the pattern or the information to other companies so that they can build pattern parts.
Well, not patent, but OE
OEM
spec.
spec, yeah. How do I feel about that? I think it's wrong. You've obviously bought a car, whether or not you've been to the main dealer and bought it or you've bought it secondhand, you should have that freedom of choice to take it to Nick, your local mechanic down the road, or if you are self-competent, to be able to do stuff yourself.
And the problem is, you see, now, so I've spoken to men with independence. He says, I'm not going to bother to do EV. I'm not going to bother to train up the people to do it because they need the certifications. I'm not going to do it.
Scary, that. Because
I'm not going to bother.
We are tying ourselves in, aren't we?
But, you know, problem is, mate, you can't fix stuff.
No.
You can't fix stuff now.
Here's a good example.
As far as I'm concerned, I don't think you can reset the service interval on this without a
And that
diagnostic tool.
Is annoying.
Yeah.
But here's a good example. Mrs. John Keaton's Fiat 500, we wanted to repair the boot number plate light trim. It's in a piece of silver trim, sort of semi like this. The number plate lights were in here. Well, Fiat wanted £250
Because they won't sell the bits
because they won't sell the parts individually, which is wrong. So how do I feel about that? Pissed off.
Yeah.
How about you? Similar?
This is why I don't like modern cars.
Yeah.
And they've got built-in obsolescence, not for the fact that they can't be mended, it's too expensive to mend them.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
You've got this thing, and this car, you've spent £20,000 on it 5 years ago, and now something goes wrong, and it's not worth mending.
This isn't me turning it into an EV bash.
No.
But this is the example I can think of. A Nissan Leaf, 15 years ago. How much was it brand new? 20
no
grand?
idea. I've got a
Within
clue.
3 years, it might need a new battery. How much is a new battery? 5 grand?
No idea. They say Teslas, after about 5 years when they need a new battery, they're not worth mending.
Auto Alex has just bought a Tesla.
Yeah.
It's done, it says 800,000 miles, dubious. I think he's just paid 8 grand for it. For a car that was £120,000 brand new.
If you've got people with Alan Simpson's mate, he might be able to mend the battery.
Mr. Redbeard, is it Redbeard?
Yeah, Captain Redbeard or
Captain
something.
Redbeard.
He might be able to mend the battery even.
Yeah.
Because people can do that sort of thing. There's a market for that.
But it's not something that me and you could do in the shed.
Of course you couldn't.
If we had a rule on the channel, which is we bought a 15-year-old car every year and did it up, eventually
you couldn't do it.
It would get to a point where we'd both look at each other and go, well, we're shafted.
Yeah.
Anyway.
There's lots, and it's not just, I don't think you should knock EV, because apart from the EV part of it, the rest of it is just a motor car. But there's lots of stuff where a Renault Scenic, at 5-year-old, you'd bet your life that service was £1,000.
Why?
Because the discs and pads would all be shot, and it was going to have a timing belt on it, and it just cost a lot of money.
Imagine.
Why would you want to spend £1,000 on a 5-year-old car? You don't want to do it. This is 5 years ago, so God knows what it's like now.
And there's the issue. You've also said about white goods, for example, which have become a throwaway, right?
Yeah, but no,
your washing machine breaks, you buy a new
You're
one.
supposed to do it, aren't you?
Yeah.
But
Maybe cars are becoming throwaway.
well, they are, aren't they?
Anyway, on that note, thanks to everyone that submitted questions. If we haven't answered your question this week,
sorry.
Apologies. We've been busy. But there will be plenty more podcasts to come. Keep them coming. If you want to submit a question, put it in the comments below, and we will do our best to answer it. Right, it's time for Tool of the Week. The answer. If you're stuck around this far, well done.
Loads and loads of people have got this one, John Boy.
Well, I don't know what it is. I thought it was some sort of, I don't know. That was going fast, wasn't it? Whatever that was.
I don't know, it's too fat. I couldn't see what it was.
Crikey. I don't know what this is. It's obviously for putting some sort of cut or divot into something.
It's a... No, don't go with this one. It's a nut splitter.
Oh my.
And it's not like somebody you met once on a Friday night. No. If you've got a seized up nut, stuck up like that probably, or anywhere else, you put that there, put it across the nut, and you screw this up, and it's hydraulic, and it splits the nut. So then you can remove the nut that's seized up.
That is a genius tool, but I would ask about the success rate of that.
Oh, it works.
Is it working every time?
As long as you can get at it. This is the problem.
What's that metal then? Because that must be really strong metal.
Well, it is, isn't it? It's
Will
hard
it
and
split
steel.
stainless?
Yeah, stainless would split, wouldn't it?
Brass?
Whether it would split, easy. Whether it would split high tensile, I don't know. But yeah, I've done it on tractor ends especially, when they're spinning, just and split the nut, then you can take it off.
There you go, well done. Nut splitter. If you said nut splitter...
I'm sure people would, it's a regular thing.
I just want the comment section to be filled with nut splitter.
Well, not what you call my hair trimmer.
No, that was balls trimmer or something like that. You've had the hair trim.
What's in the workshop? The blooming Remington hair trimmer thing.
You don't want to be slipping with that. You don't. So that's Tool of the Week then.
Yeah,
nut splitter. Well done if you said that. You are Legend of the Week.
Yes, people have seen
Why
it.
is it angled? Just so you can get at
Yeah,
it.
it's just to get at it.
Anything else you want to add to the podcast before we finish this week?
There's an even bigger one than this. It's a big nut
For
split.
big nuts. Anything else?
No, that's it. Just want to hope you enjoy your Proton.
Yes, thank you. I hope you enjoy your picture of Mike.
I shall do. I want to get it framed. It's coming up in the workshop, that is, mate. He's going to look over me.
Excellent. If you've enjoyed the video, thumbs up, please. Hopefully you enjoy the podcast. If you enjoyed it, comment down below. If you haven't already subscribed, please do ring the bell to be made aware when the next podcast is. They're sort of meant to be weekly. Due to life getting in the way, they're going to be every week and a bit, maybe. Keep submitting your questions. Thanks for watching. Next time, there'll be videos on the channel, I think, coming about this. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, folks.
Last bit from you.
Last bit from me. Torre Molinos.
I've got to pay him now. Have a great day. Take care. Goodbye. If you've enjoyed this video, I've selected a few more specially for you on this page. Click either side to select them now. And if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button to always stay up to date with the channel.